Hey everybody, it's Tiffany here with my 200-pound journey. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany and I'm on a journey to lose 200 pounds. I live in Japan, I own my own business in Japan, and I've been trying to lose this weight since probably the day I was born. If you guys are interested in things related to Japan, which recently a lot of my content is mostly about that, and you maybe are interested in weight loss that's non-restrictive, or you just are someone else who's struggling, if anything you want to build a community here, just like, follow, subscribe. I always like to read comments and try to get back to the ones that I can. And yeah, so this video is something that was requested from a comment from my video about weird things that Japanese people do to foreigners, and it was about story times that I have. Living in Japan for about 6.5 years now, out in the countryside, I have a lot of story times, and as I said in my last video, I don't know what it is about me, but Japanese people really like to approach me, and weird things or funny stories happen all the time to me. So with everything going on in my life, I thought it'd be really fun to kind of bring a kind of nice, more funny story about something that happened to me a while ago. So as you guys saw from the channel, this is about a crab and a Japanese father. And just pre-warning, I don't know what happens to the crab at the end of this story, so if you're triggered or about animal stuff, I don't know if the story would be fully for you. So with that being said, let me get into it. So in my town, we are very close to the beach and the mountains. So we have a big fishing community. People go fishing all the time. People go fishing in the ocean. And we also have surfing. Surfing is very big in this area too. So in the summertime, around the middle of July to the middle of August, they open part of the beach area for swimming. Now, it's really weird to me as an American who, like, the beaches are open all the time and there's always lifeguards available and they have like flags let you know if the tides are high, or oh, there's sharks in the water, you can't swim or whatever. But here in Japan, and from what I can tell from some of the other beaches, not all beaches, they're usually only open for about 1 month, where they actually have lifeguards and stuff there, and people go swimming and then that's it, it's done. So like 4-5 weeks maybe, and then that's it. So in my town, they have that from the middle of July to about the middle of August. And it is in like this almost like enclosed with rocks bay area. And then they have ropes out to show like this is how far out you should go for swimming. And it's kind of boxed off. Now you can swim on the outside of these ropes, but most people swim on the inside of these ropes. And then, like I said, it shows you how far out you should actually be swimming for safety reasons, right? And so my first year here, the beach was closed still. My second year here, they reopened it, but I was too nervous to go swimming. But I did finally eventually buy a swimsuit because as a teacher, I can't show my tattoos to the public in the town that I live in. So I needed to get a swimsuit that covered my legs fully and my back for my tattoos to be covered if I wanted to go swimming where my students live, right? So I got those swimsuits from America, and then eventually it was so hot here because Japan summer gets very, very humid, and I couldn't use public pools. I can't use those things because I have the tattoos. So my husband and my friends were like, hey, we should go swimming at the ocean. So we went swimming at the ocean the first time, and it was fine, except for there's so many people, but they kind of left me alone because I was with a big group of foreigners. So any students of mine that I had, anybody knew me, they left me alone, most likely because I was with a big group of foreigners. So then after that, about a week later, a weekend after that, my husband and I, we went just each other, just the two of us. And we went to the beach, and of course it's packed. In the summertime, during summer vacation, the beach is always packed every day, especially on Saturdays and Sundays. So we go on a Saturday, because at the time we both were working regular 9 to 5 jobs Monday through Friday. So we go on Saturday, we put our beach towels out, and we're walking into the water. And we first walk into the roped off area because we were just like, okay, we'll just get in the water and we'll kind of go out a little bit because a lot of the people are up where you can touch the ground. There's lots of children, lots of families. And of course, as I'm walking to the ocean, I'm already feeling a little self-conscious because I'm in my swimsuit. And I literally got stopped every 30 seconds by a student. Oh my God, Tiffany Sensei. Oh, it's Tiffany Sensei. Hey, Tiffany Sensei. Oh, Mom, Dad, it's Tiffany Sensei. So my husband looked at me and he was like, all right, let's get in the water and swim a little bit out away from the crowds because there was just so many of my students in the water and they were all trying to get my attention. And I was just trying to relax. It's my Saturday off. So, of course, I'm very nice. I'm waving. I'm saying hello. I'm giving my smiles. Very Tiffany. But I just wanted to cool off and relax in the ocean and swim a little bit with my husband. That's all I wanted to do. So we get into the water and we start trying to walk to get past all the students to get into the back of the area where there's only really adults kind of floating in rafts or treading water because, again, all the kids are in the front part of the swimming area. So as I'm going there, there's two particular girls. One's on the raft, the other one is trying to swim. And they both yell my name and they're so excited and they come swimming towards me. The one on the raft is like trying to paddle. The other one is swimming her little heart out trying to get out to me. So I notice she's struggling because I guess she's not a very good swimmer and I'm kind of out deep where she can't touch the bottom. So I panic a little bit because she's like determined to get to me. And so I have to swim back. I start swimming back towards her. I tell her to stop, don't swim anymore. And she's like, watch me swim. Look at how good I can swim. And I'm like, that's great. You can't touch the floor here. Please back up. So I go back in and she can touch the floor finally. And she's just yammering away in Japanese. And my husband comes up behind me and he's just like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. So then I had to stay in this area because every time I tried to leave, this girl would start to swim out to show me how strong of a swimmer she was. And I just told my husband, I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know where her parents are. Her parents are nowhere around us. And her sister's trying to paddle out too. And the force of the water is taking her raft. So when they go out further away from everybody, right? So I'm like, I don't know what to do because if I go out to where I want to go to actually relax and not be having to be the Tiffany Sensei face, this little girl is going to drown herself. So we stay in the area. So of course, now that I'm there, I have high school kids, junior high kids, everybody keeps swimming over to me, saying hello, asking if, at the time my husband was my boyfriend, oh, is that your boyfriend, Tiffany Sensei? Hi, Tiffany Sensei. So finally, the parents notice their child talking to a foreigner in the water. And mind you, this has probably been about 15-20 minutes of me just watching and telling the girl how amazing swimming she was, right? While trying to kind of keep a distance, but also like not far enough out in the water where she would drown. So finally they yell at her to come back into the shore. What are you doing? And she's like, oh, it's my teacher. It's my teacher. And they're just like, oh, okay. And then they smile and they wave at me. And I'm like, but they get out of the water, right? So my husband's like, hey, on the other side of the rope, there's not so many people. And there is just like a couple kids on rafts, but their parents are with them. So they're not by themselves. They're not going to just go off and drown trying to chase a foreigner, right? So we go over, we swim under the rope, we come out, and we just kind of float a little bit away from the big crowds. So then I finally just take a deep breath, and I'm just relaxing, talking to my husband, just like oh, life's going well, whatever, lightly kind of kicking the sand that's in the, the water, because I kind of could stand, kind of couldn't. So then I'm standing there, and my husband kind of swims a little bit away from me, and I kind of feel like a nip at my hand because I'm swimming like this, right? Hands out, treading water, just doing this. I feel like a nip at my hand. And I'm like, ow, what the heck? And then I feel it again because I put my hand out like this again. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? And then I look over, and on the top of the water is a crab, a little like gray crab. And if you didn't know, in America, we do this for crab. In Japan, they do this. This is crab. So there is a crab on the top of the water, and he's turned at me, and he's just coming for me. So I'm like, oh. So I start kind of doing this to kind of, A, push myself away from him, but B, push him into the current, like more out away from me. So my husband's like, what is she doing? Because I would push the crab, I would swim the other way, and the crab would stop and then just spin himself to me and then just come straight for me. So I'm battling a crab in the top of swimming on the top of the ocean, and I'm starting to panic a little bit because no matter where I turn or where I go, this crab will stop and turn itself and just right for me every time. So my husband comes over and he's laughing, and I'm like laughing myself. I'm like, what is this crab's problem? What did I do to you? So we're laughing. So my husband tries to get its attention to get it to like stop following me. And the crab looks at him, then turns and follows me. This crab was dead set on taking me out. So I'm like, oh my God, what do? I can't swim the other way because then it's going to attack the children. I'm not going to be able to get out of the ocean quick enough. It's going to attach itself to my like swimsuit or something. So I'm like just trying to get it to go away. So while I'm doing this, my husband's laughing, and there's a raft with two kids kind of on the other side with their father, their Japanese father. And they're watching me because my husband's laughing and I'm yelling, Connie, crab. Connie is crab in Japanese. And they were kind of floating near us. So I'm yelling to them, it's a crab, but in Japanese. Because all I can think of is like this crab pinching the raft and taking the poor kid's raft out, right? So the dad's looking at me like I'm a weirdo, which I'm sure I looked crazy, just like, no, get out of here, crab, right? And the kids are finally like, Dad, there's a crab. Like, the kids are so excited. They see the crab. The crab is still attacking me. And the dad comes over and he's smiling and laughing, watching me try to push this crab out of the way. Like, I would push it out of the way, I would swim around it so it couldn't find me, and it would stop and it would spin itself around like this, find me, and then continue its little pursuit. So maybe about a minute of watching this go on, the dad's like, oh, kids, let me show you how you handle a crab. And he starts to come over towards me, and the kid's like, yeah, Dad, save the foreigner. So the dad walks over, or like kind of swims over, and he's watching the crab, and I'm looking at him while looking at the crab because the crab is still dead bent on me. And so he's like, I'm going to show you guys a crab. Look how cool the crab is. He goes to try to grab the crab. He can't get it. He tries to grab the crab again. So now the crab finally takes its attention off of me, and it spins itself around, and then all it is this Japanese dad and a crab having a battle now, while the dad is trying to grab the crab because he wants to show his kids the crab, right? He wants to pick the crab up and show the kids. Well, the crab wasn't having any of this. So the Japanese dad is like this, trying to grab the crab, and the crab is pinching him, and the Japanese dad is just like, ow, 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 ow. So I'm just watching this like, what is going on? The crab is obviously hurting you, sir. I don't know. What are you doing? So finally, the crab pinches the dad, and the dad's like, ow! And he yells and cusses in Japanese for a second. And then he just yeets the crab. Like, we all watched, the kids, me, my husband, everyone else, because the crab grabbed his finger and the dad just went, whaw! And the crab went in the air and just spun like a helicopter all the way out and landed back in the ocean. And we all just stared. We could not believe he just yeeted the crab so far down the ocean area. And the kids are like, yeah, Dad, you're a hero. You saved the foreigner. And I'm just like, the poor crab. So then the dad looks at me and I look at him and I'm like, are you okay? Because obviously the crab had grabbed his finger. That's why he like yeeted it across the ocean. And he's like, oh, I'm fine. And I'm like, thank you. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Goes back with his kids. And my husband is staring at me and I'm staring at him and I'm like, wow, that guy just saved me from a crab by, I don't know, maybe the crab, I don't know if the crab is okay, but at least it landed back in the ocean. So yeah, it was quite interesting and quite funny, to say the least. So that's just one kind of story about something that happened with me in Japan. And yeah, I sometimes will still go to the ocean, but I don't usually go as often because now I don't have the time to go. But yeah, it was quite interesting, and I hope you guys enjoyed the crab story. And if you guys are more interested in other funny little stories that have happened to me here in Japan, let me know. Give me a comment below, and I'll bring you some more. So thanks for listening, and bye!